Alright, gamers. I'm trying to get my light to work. My light's not working. It's not working, guys. It's terrible. Hang on. I'm gonna try and fix my light. Is your other PC dead? I mean, it lives. It lives for now. Okay, this is annoying. Hang on. Alright. Let's see if I can make this work. Or maybe I'll just be less illuminated, you know? That's also a possibility. All right. It's been a bit of a warm-up stream. Ah, here we go. All right, we're in business. There we go. Ah. Turns on the stream, goes swimming, comes back, eats, showers, takes a nap, and then starts. You know, funnily enough, that's kind of how it goes. This time, though, I had to make my light appear, and and then I also had to reply to an annoying YouTube comment. All right, let's go. By YouTube comments? Listen, you got to reply to me. Look, you can't let stupid go unaddressed. Okay, that's basic stuff, guys. Has to be on. All right, let's go. Sure you can. Well, I mean, I can't. I don't have that talent. But anyway. And look, I'll look at the comments. This is very annoying to me, okay? So, man, yeah, people were looking at the developer interview, like the tea time interview, right? And there are a couple of comments that kind of annoyed me a little bit. It's... Yeah. This goal is this is a really nasty comment. Look at this comment, guys. Seriously. Look, a good part of this stream is the devs trying to gently respond to these elite player problems. Sneb, in his own way, basically asks how ArenaNet can fix his issue of having bad teammates in PvP, right? Brian, in essence, responds saying that new players are their concern, too. They can't just cater to veteran players. They have a difficult job pleasing everyone. Maybe some players don't want to be helpful concerned for new players. They appreciate the players that do. This is, you know, okay, I'm not gonna lie. There's something that's happened. Casual players are allowed to say absolutely disgusting things and lie with no pushback. Why is that allowed, guys? Why is that allowed? Because this is not even close to what actually happened. Like that he didn't say that. Like, Seb was basically talking about how they're going to make the game mode appealing, right, to different player groups, right? Because they were talking about new players. Like, how are they going to make it work for different demographics of players? This is a very good question. Like, the fact that he interpreted it like that is so vile. What a repulsive comment to make. And then this guy also says this. They trash the game all the time in their personal streams. When the devs are present, they're so nice and positive. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to say more. This was definitely a moment where I wanted to have a low-tier god moment, actually, and I should have just linked him the video, honestly, like, to be honest, but it's so vile. What a disgusting thing to say, and it's so dishonest as well. It's so unbelievably dishonest, considering, like, how we actually talk about the game. Oh, man, it is unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah. And then this guy, okay, this one also really annoyed me. The worst thing is they're completely blind to what causes the things they have an issue with. That's what really triggers me. And, okay, fair enough, whatever. But he then goes on to say, this is really funny, guys. He then goes on to say, boons give too much player power and every encounter has to be designed around it or it'll be too easy. One, I actually kind of steel-manned him. Like, he actually doesn't understand the issue here, which is ironic, obviously. But we do talk about this all the time. Like, this is one of the most common criticisms we have of the way the game is right now, is like how much boon spam there is, right? And how, like, having really high uptime of basically everything is, like, very problematic. So he accuses us of not understanding, not realizing that we not only do, we actually talk about it very, very often. Oh my god! And he also doesn't understand the issue. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know why boons are a problem. Oh man, you know, there is a feature on YouTube that I should use more often. If I'm being real, like, this guy and this guy deserve to be hidden from the channel. Like, it's actually, and this guy too, actually. It's arguably immoral for me to let them continue to comment because they're just spreading misinformation, right? Like, it's just misinformation here. Like, they're just lying, right? It's just not true. Sprudel, tier 1. Daily reminder. Indeed, yes. That is accurate. That's a good daily reminder. Yeah. PvP having new players is very much in veterans' interest. And yeah, that was kind of like, that's my angle. That's my take on the whole new PvP game mode thing. Like, the way I see it is that the only real fix to PvP in Guild Wars 2 is, like, more people. Like, you need more players to be, you know, you need more players to be playing the game. So I think definitely very specifically targeting those players with something that's going to appeal to them, like adding a new game mode, like, makes a lot of sense from a strategic position. And then, yeah, like, the hope is that they, you know, like, it's a cool environment to kind of learn the combat and then take it into Conquest. Like, that sounds like a good strategy. Again, it's a bit of a Hail Mary. I think it absolutely is. It's definitely a YOLO move, but I don't think they have many options, right, at this point. Like, they've just got to go for it. There's not much else they can do. Their bot accounts or AI comments? I don't think so, unfortunately. I wish they were AA comments. But, yeah. Oh, man. But this is kind of what I mean, though, you know? And, you know, the sad thing is, I don't think Reburox is going to talk to me. It's actually really sad. He made a... you guys fucked it up, though, okay? Like, when we watched his video, you all disliked it. He said he got 90 dislikes on that video in, like, 1 hour. That's actually cringe, guys. Like, I'm going to flame you for that. I'm sure not everyone did that, but seriously, that's actual cringe. It was an interesting video. That's not a good reason to dislike it whatsoever. To be fair, he is bluffing. He made a little poll saying, like, should I continue making Guild Wars 2 content? And I'm not gonna lie, he basically set the answers on the poll so that nobody's gonna say no. So he's posturing a little bit, but it is what it is. Yeah. It was also misinformation spreading. It definitely was, yeah. There was some very clear misinformation in that video that just wasn't correct, like just incorrect information. That's definitely true. But it didn't make it an uninteresting video though. It didn't make it a video worthy of being disliked, in my opinion. Because there was some interesting stuff in there. I found it to be a really interesting listen. I found it to be an entertaining listen. Yeah, but it's just like you know what's really weird to me? I don't. Okay. Riddle me this, guys. Why are these people here? Right? Like, what are these people doing? You know what I'm saying? The reason I find it very, very strange is they very clearly either don't play the game or don't like the game. It's one of those two, right? So it's either they don't play and that's why they're you know, they don't know what they're talking about, basically, or they do play, but they, like, resent the game very strongly. Like, what's the motive? Like, what are they getting out of this? Like, why are they watching my channel? Okay, why are they watching my channel about a game that they don't like? Very strange. Yeah. How do you think to your life you hate? I'm very happy to say, Nike, that I can say 0. I can absolutely say that I do not engage with things I don't like at all. Just none. I just don't engage. Day 30 of 3 days. 30 days of charts and graphs leading up to the war then. Tank M+ title holders. Season 2, Bear 90%. Season 3, Demon Hunter 82%. Season 4, Demon Hunter 96%. Holy shit. Nice. Dragonflight total numbers. Demon Hunter 42, Paladin 25, Druid 22, Warrior 3.9, Death Knight 3.3, Monk 1.6. Bro, look, and people cry about balance in Guild Wars 2. Although this is like a very extreme thing, actually, right? This is like a very extreme thing. So it's not really a big deal if we're being real here. 0 brews in season 4. Yeah, no brewmasters got it. Although, to be fair, I feel that's because people didn't play. I feel like it's definitely doable on brew, but, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely doable. It's just that I imagine people weren't really playing that much. Well-dressed cat, tier 1. Doot. Ah, yes, good call. Yeah. They get featured in your stream, the most human interaction they got all year. Maybe, I don't know. Diversity is way worse. Only at very high levels, honestly. Like, if you actually do pugs at, like, weekly keys, the variety is pretty okay, honestly. But, yeah, when you go to, like, the top 0.1%, everyone just plays the optimal build. You know, oh, man, I have a lot to say on this, actually, but, okay. Right. Let me try and explain. So, the reason why the metagame gets really skewed in kind of extreme environments like Serra CM or very high keys in Mythic Plus is because the type of person who does that content is the type of person who will re-roll. So what happens is, guys, is that even if the advantage is only relatively small, let's say 10%, right? Like a 10% advantage by re-rolling, basically everyone who plays something like Ceres, for example, or high keys in Mythic Plus, everybody who's going to do that is going to reroll, or almost everybody who's going to do that is going to reroll. So it actually ends up being a lot more skewed than you might think, right? Like, because people are going to take even a 5 to 10% advantage, and they will absolutely reroll for that. 10% matters a lot in the content, in the context of extreme content too. Exactly, yeah. 10% is an extreme advantage. Yeah, but that advantage is only relevant. It's not really relevant in, like, low-level play, right? Like, is 10% relevant in daily tier 4s? Nah. Is 10% relevant in, like, a weekly full clear of raids or Icebrood Saga 5? Nah. It really isn't, is it? You know what I mean, right? Like, but in context where that 10% becomes relevant, like, people are going to be more and more likely to take it. So when you're looking at play rates, I think you have to be really mindful of that. You can't look at, I don't think, people do actually do this in Guild Wars 2. It's something that's probably video worthy at some point when I get around to it. But people really evaluate the metagame of Guild Wars 2 entirely through the hardest content in Guild Wars 2. This is a very bad lens to look at that, in my opinion. I think that's a really bad way of looking at it. Because obviously you're going to get skewed data, right? Like, you know, you're not getting the full story there. Like, you can't just go, oh, well, people optimize for the hardest content in the game, so the game isn't balanced. Like, no, that's not really how it works. I think it's kind of annoying, actually. It's kind of annoying, actually, because, of course, in this case, it also is imbalanced, right, to be honest. Like, well, you know, Virtuoso is pretty OP, if we're being honest, but it's, I don't know, it is what it is. Yeah. What are you working on right now for Zero to Hero? So today, I'm going to do some World vs. World dailies as a bit of a warm-up, and then after that, we're going to play the special event. It's a very short stream, though. I'm not going to stream the WoW raid. I'm actually really tired. I'm drained after the Sota review, so I want to just try and I'm trying to make an effort, guys, to stream something, right? Like, we'll stream a little bit at least. I'm not going to stream a lot today, but I'll stream a little bit. That is what we're going to do. In LoL, people reroll for 2 to 3%. Yeah, they absolutely do. But again, like, it's a big part of, like, people need to understand the mentality here as well, though, right? Like, the mentality is what's it doesn't necessarily reflect how the balance actually is, or like how different things really are. People will reroll for 2 to 3%, but that doesn't mean that the game is horrifically imbalanced, right? Right, you wouldn't say that, you wouldn't necessarily say that a game that's off by 2 to 3% is horrifically imbalanced, right? So, you know, looking at player behavior is definitely important, but you have to contextualize that player behavior as well. And I think people make this mistake a lot in Guild Wars 2. PvE balance is the best ever. It doesn't mean anything out of context, but for all the people who are big man that comes to dogshit balance, I generally wonder how they enjoyed the game back when balance is unugly, not by a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be inclined to agree with that, Nike, yeah, for sure. Like, it has been so much worse than now. I can't recall a better time in PvE when it's been better, actually. I really can't. I can't. I really can't. I'd have to double-check that and go back and think about it, but can anyone think of a time when the game has been better balanced than basically now for PvE? That's not rhetorical. I'm actually asking. Does anyone want to throw any eras into the hat for, like, best balance in the game? I think it will be fair to say that there's a couple of outliers right now, but I think they're not really outliers in terms of numbers. They're kind of outliers in terms of playability. I think that, I think EOD definitely threw some stuff into the mix, because I think some of those specs are they're not that playable. Like, Catalyst is not very high playability, I think. But I think the funny thing is that it also introduced Virtuoso. And Virtuoso, weirdly enough, I think it did actually disrupt the meta, because Virtuoso is actually really interesting because it's designed from the ground up to be very playable, right? It's designed from the ground up to be very, very accessible in a way that, honestly, most Guild Wars 2 specs just aren't. They aren't really designed with playability in mind, and I think that's where some of this perception actually comes from, is this idea of things being designed for playability. And stuff like Bladesworn, just to be frank, isn't very playable, really, compared to some of the other builds that exist in the game. Like, and that might also be influencing what's going on here as well. Yeah. Fresh Air Staff Meta and HOT. Yeah, it's just very weird to me. People don't remember, guys. Like, back in HOT, the only good DPS build in the game was Tempest. It's very funny to me that people don't remember this. It wasn't like Tempest was, like, the best build. It was, like, the only good DPS build was Tempest. Literally the only one. Everything else was actually dog shit compared to Tempest. What do these people, you know, how do these people feel about that, right? Like, what was their opinion then? Maybe they're all Ellie mains, so maybe they liked it. I don't know. Yeah. Yes. Dogsworn. Buff Tempest to the moon, left it that way until POF. Is Warrior still shit in PvP? No, Warrior is meta in PvP, currently. Right now there are two incredibly strong Warrior builds. Condi Berserker and Defense Spellbreaker are both essentially meta builds right now, and see play all the way to the highest level. You know, it's funny. I feel like I have to say this, you know, to the Warrior mains out there. Daily reminder that Warrior has been one of the classes that has been meta the most out of any class in the entire game. In all 3 game modes, by the way. There are really not that many eras of Guild Wars 2 where Warrior has not been meta in all 3 game modes. It's very dominant. It's been a very dominant class, actually, historically, throughout the game. There have been times when it hasn't been good. Obviously, I'm not going to pretend that's not the case. Like, you can blame Solar for that one, by the way. But, you know, historically, it's been very dominant in all 3 game modes. Daily reminder, Blish is in eternal hell. All right, let's play the song. I'm playing the song, guys. Here we go. Ready? Oh, dude, yeah, I remember this video. Yeah, the Nike video. Is this the golden age? Yeah, this was also another really good time of the game, actually. That is true. This is a very good video by Nike, actually. He was very correct as well. And this is a time when people were kind of complaining, actually, too. People were complaining about it, but Nike broke the circle jerk. He was really correct. Really on point video, actually. I remember this one. Oh, I need to be in the fight. Let's go. Holy shit. Let me in. Let me in on the action, boys. Oh, shit. I think we're losing. Yeah, we're definitely losing. I need resistance. Oh! Yes. It's not better if you play it like you're debunking Condi Berserker. Well, I'm not a condition. That is true, actually. That is very true. Oh, look, is this the NG again? Oh, it's a different player, actually, but yes. All the microtransaction enjoyers are together now in glorious world versus world. You love to see that. Oh, oh, we're kind of clouding him here, actually. We're kind of clouding him. They're being repelled. Make dagger offhand comparative to offhand axe, please, for warrior. And they could do it in PvE, but I mean, isn't axe kind of a fun weapon to use, though? I think the key is that you'd have to make warrior dagger offhand different to axe. Don't they kind of serve similar purposes right now, in a sense? And I think that might be the issue. They need to differentiate it. Don't they both basically have like a big channeled AoE ability, like with dagger offhand having a frontal cone, of course, and axe having like a spin move? So I think the problem is that they have kind of similar functionality. So I actually think maybe a rework to dagger 5 could actually be interesting. So that it can have its own function. Because right now, look, imagine if you increase the numbers on Dagger 5, wouldn't it just like straight up replace Axe offhand? It probably would, no? Because, you know, if it just has like really good numbers. I guess like Axe offhand is also really good because it has lots of hits too, and that's obviously really nice for adrenaline generation and so on. But you know what I mean, right? It's like you don't want the weapon just to replace it because it has a bigger number on it. I think that they need to have slightly different functionalities. But yeah. That is the deal, I think. Yeah, they got clouded there. We clouded them out, guys. Owned. Yes. Yeah, Axe 4 gives quickness. You give self-quickness to yourself. The new expansion, the people who went to other MMOs will return. I've not noticed a lot of lack of content on an A. So... the answer to that is yes and no. I think a lot of experienced players, especially like raiders, Guild Wars 2 is their secondary MMO now, right? They don't main it. I think that a large portion of that community has shifted from maining the game to playing the game as a side game. So they'll come back, but they'll leave again, right? They'll come back, play the content, and then leave. They're not going to be playing daily. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's yes and no. It's a bit of both. The thing is, what's quite sad is I don't actually think that even if Wing 8 is really good, I think they won't main the game. I think they'll do the progression, right? They'll play it, and then they'll leave again. I don't think people are going to be maining Guild Wars 2. Or, like, I don't think people who have gone are going to come back and main the game again. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Snail. I want standard models in PvE. That would be a good, that'd be a good change. Can we get that? Standard models? Let's go. It's good for performance too, actually. Makes the game run well. What other dailies have I got to do? Boom. Defeat 5 guards. Well, I mean, that's... I'm not going to get that done over here, am I? Throne and Liberty. No, the problem is all these Eastern games, they always have, like, cool mechanics, and they just fuck it up with the business model. It's just... I don't get it. It is what it is. It's not going to happen. Would the Necro name Enjoys Morningwood get flagged for being inappropriate and trying to goon? I mean, if I'm being real with you, yes, you will probably get away with that for a while, and then it will get removed. If I'm being honest, but I mean, it is what it is. Like it's up to you, I guess. Oh no, there's no guard here. It's over. Yeah. Oh, I need to do a gift of battle, actually. I need a lot of... I'm going to make some legendaries, so I actually need a lot of gifts of battle. So I need to get going on that, I think. Gift of battle. Let's go. Oh, rune bag. Dude, these rune bags, by the way, are like mega OP. The rune... Look. Okay, so this is actually kind of a shitty one. But check this out, guys. If you get the bag of runes from the daily thingy here, the energy matter converter, you high roll kind of often. Like, for example, yesterday when I was doing this, I actually got a rune of water. And that's actually really expensive, as you can see. I got a rune of water, which is actually a meta rune currently for heal builds. And it's 7 gold. So I just made 7 gold by converting 25 putrid currencies, pretty much. Done map comp? I haven't. It's going to be one of the things I do next, actually, on this character. We're going to do like a full map comp. I've got my Blish HUD ready to go on that. Yo, Neuronuts in the chat. Oh shit, they're getting in. They're getting in! No! Wait, is this guy AFK? He's not. Have stability, friend. I'm gonna go for the... Wait, can I res this? Okay, no. Oh, no, no, oh, no! Well, it's over. I tried. I did try. I really did. It was worth the attempted save. It was no use. Unlucky. New World. New World, The Breaker. That's a video game right there, guys. That is a game. A video game. That's for sure. I can literally craft 6 legendary, but I need those exploration gifts. Well, I mean, you can always buy... Well, it depends which ones you need. If you need, like, the core game ones, you can just buy them as well if you want to. From Overflow. Buy it from other people. That's something that's possible. If you're into that sort of thing. And just save yourself the time. Is that game still alive? Nah, New World's actually dead, unfortunately. It's a bit tragic, but that's how it goes. That is just how it goes. Let's go. Get the trails? Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, you do the trails. You know, I was thinking of actually not using mounts, though, to do map completion. Because I kind of don't want to. Like, mounts, I want to have, like, I want to have an actual good experience, right? And using mounts just, oh, man, it's so boring to use that. Like, I like running around everywhere. It's insane how Guild Wars 2 is still alive and others are dying like flies. Is it? Is it really actually that surprising? I don't think it's actually very surprising that Guild Wars 2 has survived, right? Like, most games that kind of get off the ground typically do, like, stick around. Like, you know, there's enough people who have basically got sunk cost in Guild Wars 2 that they're not going to be going anywhere, I think. But it's a little bit more than that as well. Like, Guild Wars 2 is actually a good game. New World isn't a particularly good game, I think. Like, and that's kind of the problem. Like, most of these new games, they're bad, right? They're straight up bad. To be honest. And because they're bad, people don't play them, right? They're not good. And New World is a bad game. That's just the way it is. That's how it is. Unlucky. The trouble is, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to make a good game. Making a good game is not easy, guys. Yeah. What's the last major online game that came out as successful? Let's see. In terms of MMOs, I don't think there's anything that's really successful that's modern. But that's because there's nothing that's good that's modern either. It's not like a genre that a lot of devs are making stuff for, right? So there's not a lot of potential candidates, you know? Ow. It's over. I've got my bag of loot. It's fine, this guy's gonna res me. We're good. Easy. This guy's in the mix. I don't think we can defend this, can we? It's not looking good. New magical cape? I'm getting the magical cape? What are you talking about? If Ashes is any good, be interested in playing? Or would WoW take up too much time? I mean, I'll play Ashes, yeah, if it's good, but the probability of that is fairly low, for being honest. It's also not coming out for ages. It's going to be a little while on that one, guys. Get him. I don't want to go for saving this guy, but the Wilburn is going to be doing a lot of damage. I think I can just get him. You got hit by the NG Downsay. That is a classic, actually. We have successfully repelled the enemy invaders, but I don't think for very much longer, unfortunately. We need like a stealth operation to res the Lord. But I don't think that's very likely. Where even is the Lord? Oh, I think he's right in the middle, actually. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Okay. This guy doesn't have a renewed focus. Yeah. I saw him already use it. So he doesn't have it. And therefore he died. Classic overextension. Oh, I mean, they're actually starting to get clouded a bit, aren't they? Maybe we can get something done here. Yeah, they're losing people. Get a couple down here. Really wish I had my reflect right now. Oh boy. Get me out of there. Boom. Run. Oh, we actually got the Lord back up. Ooh, that's really good. Yeah, they're in trouble now. Wait, what is this? Why is he jumping on that guy? What the fuck? A little bit of BM here, guys. A little toxicity here in Guild Wars 2. That's what's going on here. Friendliest community, by the way. Very nice. Bad system of getting Azerite through events, increasing level of the artifact. It really doesn't, though. That's not something that even exists in the next version of WoW either. I like that, though. It's very interesting, actually. Like, the story of, like, Azerite power. Like, okay, I kind of don't blame Blizzard for this. They got... Okay, look. Man, you know what happened, guys? Blizzard got baited by Legion, okay? So... let me explain what happened to you with WoW Legion, guys. WoW Legion had the same apocalyptically awful system of legendary or like artifact power or whatever, and people didn't really complain about it for one reason, and that was because the rest of Legion was sick. They added M+, the content was really good, the story was really cool, class halls were really interesting. So Blizzard got baited. They were like, yo, dude, people love this expansion. This is so cool. We're going to do this in every expansion from now on. But what they didn't realize is that I don't think people really particularly like stuff like artifact power. I wouldn't imagine. I'd have to do research, but I wouldn't imagine it to be the case anyway. They liked all the other stuff. But Blizzard got baited and kept adding basically the same system, even though it's an awful system. Like, conceptually, it's appalling. Like, it's just, what a terrible idea. But everything else about the expansion was really good, so it didn't matter, basically. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think so. Yeah, they probably looked at the... and I think looking at engagement metrics was probably a big bait as well. They were like, yo, everyone's farming artifact power. That means people must really like it. Whereas in reality, that's not the case at all. It's just like, you have to do it. Like, it's just part of the game, right? Yeah. Again, I have to do research to form a proper opinion on that, but that would be my guess on how it turned out, if I'm being real. Like, the entire idea of artifact power, because I played a little bit of Legion, so I know how it works. You have to do like world quests and like do dungeons and stuff like that. Like the entire concept of that, oh man, it's just fucking cancer, to be honest. But I don't know. What do I know, guys? Unique items that you have to power up was bad for BFA. That probably didn't help. Also, having a necklace is way less cool. It's way less cool than having, like, a legendary weapon as well, like, from the history of the game and stuff. Yeah. Yes. It was all armor as well. Yeah, but that's not as cool, though, is it? I don't think that matters. Like, oh, look, my armor is all... it does something special, right? That's nowhere near as badass. I've literally got the Ashbringer. Right, I've got the literal Ashbringer or Doomhammer, right? I think it's not going to be as good. Yeah. Let's go. You know, like, BFA is fascinating to me. Oh, man. Dude, I love BFA. Because you know what's really interesting to me? The systems must have been so bad. Because I've played through BFA and the story, and the story is actually really cool. All of the dungeons are really cool. Like, all the dungeons that showed up in M+ are some of the strongest ones, actually. The raids were really cool as well in BFA, but it still has a really negative reputation. And it just... I'm sorry, I will die on this hill. Vertical progression is garbage. I'm sorry, dude. Like... If you have a game that releases content as good as BFA and people still think it isn't good, then holy shit, the progression systems must be awful. Like, absolutely god-awful. And yeah, welcome to vertical progression. You make your... it's just bad. It's just a terrible system. I'm sorry. It's just garbage. Like, it's hilarious to me. It's mind-blowing that you can make a game as good as WoW, and people don't like it because you're shackled, right? You're completely shackled to this horrible idea, this like terrible idea of vertical progression. Yeah. Unlucky. Astrism there with the Prime. Yes. Shitty islands and stuff. Yeah, not good. And you can kind of mitigate it by just making like everything give you the power, I guess. Like that's like a really bad decision. That's a really, really bad decision to not make like every activity give you the artifact power, though, I think. Maybe an error there. Yeah, and adding RNG on it is also terrible. That's, yeah. Vertical regression and RNG, that's not good. Time-gated RNG with vertical regression, yikes. What were they thinking? That's actually, you know what? That's kind of based. That's, in a way, that's based. Like, I think it's actually, you have to give, like, some respect to devs who put things in the game that are that awful. You know, I kind of respect it. Maybe they should have made it worse. This guy's dead. I like how his friends aren't helping him. They're right there and they're not. They're just like, yeah, well, you know, maybe you shouldn't have died. Yes. Here we go. Do you hear that BFA and Shadows wasn't their HP more than double? It's time for raid prog? Yo, dude, let's go. It's time to go back. What, I mean, why though? Like, why did that happen? Is that like a bug? It's actually funny. With an RNG chance to downgrade. Yeah, that's like the BDO setup, right? Like your item just gets worse. Enjoy. What content do you think brings back retired hardcore players? Tier 5 fractals, Linear or something else? Nothing. No, I don't think that's a good strategy, Ural. I think if you want to have a hardcore scene, you have to attract new ones, new people, to do that. I think that once you're out, you're out. I don't think you're ever coming back. Not in the same way, anyway. I think once you're retired, it's permanent. Like, you'll come back and play, but you're not going to come back and play hardcore. Could you just res this guy? I feel like I shouldn't res this guy. You know, this is almost like reinforcing bad behavior. Okay, I'm also definitely not resing him now. Yeah. Yes. People genuinely like number go up as bad as you might think it is. Yeah, I mean, I know. But it's just, it makes me very sad, actually, because all of these WoW expansions, they're actually insanely good. The actual quality of the content is insanely high. But the only reason people view it as bad is because they come up with, like, the most stupid progression systems ever. Because they're trying to, like, constantly create new spins on vertical progression. And maybe they just shouldn't do that. And to an extent, it's definitely not the system itself. It's just... it's the implementation of vertical progression that's like really hard to get right, I think. But on the other hand, I just go, man, it's just such a, it's just made the game worse, right? It's caused so many issues. Like the trying to find good ways of doing it is just like caused so many issues in the game.
Vacate these premises.
No to watch along the frequency of YouTube videos. Ah, there we go. Yes. Listen to the latest Tea Time in its entirety. Yes, it should be up about now, actually. Enjoy. Well, pretty soon, anyway. In a 15-minute mission, that's why I left WoW. You know, weirdly enough, I don't think that's rational. I don't think I would ever leave the game for that reason. Like, that's vertical progression. Like, you have a soft reset every single time. Like, if you're not okay with... that's something I actually don't care at all about. Because the thing is, the way that you... The way that you get gear is by playing the game, right? If you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're going to be playing the game anyway. That's why I don't really mind vertical progression in WoW. It's like, oh no, my gear's gone. And now I have to play content that I really like to get it back. Oh no, the horror. I have to raid and do Mythic Plus to gear. I'm gonna cry. No. Oh, please, not that. So it doesn't really bother me for that reason. or like that part of vertical progression, it's kind of irrelevant because I'm just going to be playing the game anyway, so it's like whatever. But it's, yeah. But yeah, I agree. I don't like vertical progression. Not everyone likes raids. Well, just don't do raids then. Like, do, I don't know, Mythic Plus. And if you don't like raids or Mythic Plus, then what are you playing WoW for? Right? It's like, well, that's kind of the game. I don't have to tell you. It's, that is the game. Returning players since HOT. Pre-POF launch, I stopped playing. Then bought expansions. At the announcement of Legendary Relic News, I made my first Legendary to get it free value. That's big. Yeah. Oh, I can't even reply. Why do people appear offline? This is scuffed. Heal Scourge good. Yeah, it is. You're doing that kind of grind since 10 years. Vertical Regard is pretty, certainly normal burnout. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not really worried about that, honestly, because I just like the game, right? I just like the game. So, like, I'm not super worried about that. It's the same thing with Guild Wars 2, right? Like, I'm not going to ever burn out on Guild Wars, so I just like it, right? I just enjoy playing it. Horizontal progression isn't perfect either. It's definitely not. Like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. For me, it kind of is. If I'm being real. Like, I could honestly play Guild Wars 2 forever with loot disabled, right? In fact, it would probably even make the game slightly better. Like, if when you made a Guild Wars 2 character, you started with legendary armor, I would consider that an improvement, just straight up. I think that's better. And just remove all rewards from the game. Like, just delete them entirely. Like, only have competitive systems in the game, and nothing else. I would view that as better, to be honest. You're forced to grind even if you don't like the content. I mean, if you don't like the content, why are you playing? Right? This is where I'm lost here. Like, I'm not getting it. I don't have any sympathy for that position whatsoever. I think it's a really bad criticism of World of Warcraft. It's like, if you don't like the game, why play? Right? It's like, I don't know. Don't play then. Yeah. I can't imagine anything worse than spending your leisure time on a game that you don't like. Like, if you don't like the game, it's time to find another one, right? But, yeah. Wait, Mythic Raid or Mythic Plus? Well, I mean, that's kind of WoW. If you don't like raiding or Mythic Plus, then I'm not gonna lie. I feel like maybe try a different game, right? I don't know. It's not good. It's a big part of the game. That's like saying, like, I hate the fact that, like, I have to do open world in Guild Wars. So, well, I mean, yeah, that is something that you probably have to do. I don't have to tell you. That's kind of the game. You've also do Battlegrounds for BIS power. You know, there's actually a big part of me, guys, that I view that as incredibly based. Like, I actually like the idea, personally, that you have to have, like, a degree of mastery over PvP to have full BIS. That, to me, I kind of like it, actually. I understand why it's probably not a good idea to have it that way, but I kind of like it, actually. That's hype. That's hype to me. So here I am, the Jobotron lover. I'll join you anytime any event. You will hear from back on my back gathering. For your pleasure, remind you of the old days, pre-HT launch, when Jobotron Backpack was launched. There's no option to disable other player sales back then. It was Jobotron spam. So, to make your frugal fighter love it, baby. I mean, sure, you're in. Boom, there you go. I like it. But yeah. And like, yeah, there's definitely some situations like, yeah, if you want to have, like, if you want to get full BIS as fast as possible, then you'll probably have to do M+. But, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, like, that's not really that relevant. Like, unless you're pushing Hall of Fame, which is, like, literally the top 200 guilds in the world, then just don't, right? I don't know what to tell you. I don't agree with this criticism, really. It's like, unless you're playing the game competitively, you don't have to do all of, like, the side grinds, right? That's just not going to be necessary. And if that was ever the case in WoW, then yeah, that's dog shit. I wouldn't be surprised if that has been the case, but I don't know. It is what it is. Is Demon Knight some manifestation of the NA server? Well, let's tune into Darren's stream. What's going on here? Some kind of operation is going on. EU failed Soros CN today. You're not alone. People do struggle with the convergences a bit, don't they? I think it really is because a lot of groups run them privately. Like, that's the issue. Like, a lot of, like... Whenever I do a convergence, I see, like, loads of purple title people, right? Like, all of the legendary Ceres people show up. Boom. I gotta play Throne of Liberty? Of course not, no. It's almost certainly gonna be... oh, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the game's trash, no? Alt gearing in 14 is kind of despair. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know anything about 14, but I'll take your word for it. I mean, just in general, gearing is despair, right? Like, you know, even in Guild Wars, it's actually kind of despair. That's the thing. Like, I view Guild Wars 2 gearing as actual fucking hell at this point. It's like, when I play on the Zero, I'm like, bro... Like, it's not even, like, hard or expensive. It's just like, man, if I want to gear my ult, I'm going to have to spend the next, like, 30 minutes to an hour clicking on little boxes and not playing the game. It's like, bro, please, why are you doing this to me? Set me free. Free me from this hell, you know? Oh. It's unfortunate. I had stability. It then got instantly removed. That's, I mean, that's just unfortunate, isn't it? You had to grind everything eats patches for the gear advantage. I like to raid and push score, but I don't feel farms being forced through the arena or farm world because like a donkey as the patch is wasting my gear. I just say there are better ways. I mean, there definitely are better ways, but I mean, again, like you're talking about like a very extreme, like part of the game, right? It's like pushing keys and you know and doing raids. And yeah, I mean, again, I don't like vertical regression, so I'm not going to really defend that, but you know, at least it isn't like that now, I guess. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm very... I'll complain about it, and I don't think it's very good, but I have a high tolerance for that, right? Like, the question you've got to ask yourself is it worth it? Like, for me, it's always going to be worth it. I'll pretty much do anything. Like, I'd be fine with basically any level of grind. Like, if we've got to do, like, 10 split raids, then so be it. Like, I really don't care about that. Like, I care about the objective. So, like... If we end up going, you know what? If Angel says we're doing Hall of Fame raiding, we need 10 ults geared, ready to go to do, like, an entire, like, 3 days of split raids. Yeah, I'm down. Let's go. If the game wants me to do world quests all day, honestly, fuck it. Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready to go. That's how, you know, look, we'll get on Voice with the Boys and slam some world quests. I'm okay with it. I don't actually mind stuff like this. And if it wants to play PvP, you know, in some ways... kind of based, actually. You know, you like get full bis, have to actually have like decent rating in PvP as well. Yeah, I'm down 100%. Yeah. I typically don't mind stuff like this in MMOs. I really don't. I don't mind stuff like this. Well, that's unfortunate. I've been defeated. Got the emergency waypoint though. The game encourages you to play multiple jobs. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool actually, because you're kind of like classes in 14, right? Like you can like swap your character and stuff. That's kind of interesting, I think. Pretty cool thing that you can do, I think. I like classes. I do like class systems actually. I like New World's classes. Oh man, I hate talking about New World, dude. Like New World has so many good design features on it. Oh my god. New World, dude, look. You know what, guys? Sub-goal 750. Sub-goal 750, I do newworld.avi. There you go. That's the title of the video. Newworld.avi. What the hell? I will say this about vertical progression. I will actually concede one thing about vertical prog. I do really like WoW Season Starts, where you just log on and send 12 hours of M+ into Raid. That is actually very good. And you know what? I'm going to say it, guys. I wish we were doing more splits. I think we're only doing like 3 sets of splits. Pathetic. I would find it fun to do like 2 days of splits. I would actually be totally down for that, and that's based. Purely because I like the kind of like war mission almost, you know, it's like, it's very, I almost view it as like really big RP. It's kind of like everyone's the team. We've got this mission. We're going to declare war on the Nerebar Palace, right? Like we're like gearing up all our roles and stuff. Like, yeah, that is actually quite good. And that is unique to vertical progression. I will concede that. I don't hate that. Yeah. I would find to do one set for each person. Yeah, I'm actually with I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, Angels. I'm down. I would do 20 ults. It's time. When will the 0 to hero segment? Oh, I actually need to go now. I haven't got long. I'm not going to stream the WoW raid today. I'm fucking drained. I'm not sure oh, man. Do I even have enough time now? I need to, like, do all of the Season 3 stuff in one go. Maybe I stall until tomorrow, actually. I wasn't really going to stream very much anyway today. I was just not going to stream, really, because I'm very tired. I'm a little bit sick. I've made myself ill for the Soto review, guys. I just wanted to show up. I just wanted to, you know, pop my head in, say hello a little bit. You guys know how it is. 0 Mystic coins gained. We have to do less despair heroics when we do Mythic. Yes, exactly. I think that what's quite fun about the vertical progression stuff is that it's like a little puzzle you have to solve. You have to go, okay, well, we need these items on this guy. We need these items on that guy, right? So we've got to put the groups together. It's like a very strategic thing, and it's like a little puzzle that you have to solve, which I actually think is really fun. I like that kind of stuff. I like the spreadsheeting, right? I like the spreadsheeting part of MMOs. It's quite fun to want to, you know, to kind of get in there and work as a team, right, to achieve the goal and stuff. Yeah. Okay, that is a terrible decision. I hope they reverse that. Maybe if there's enough complaining, they'll actually reverse it. I really don't like what they did there. That is not a good call. They should, they need to move M+ to the same week as Heroic. It's cringe. Fact. How is the Mythic lockout daily, by the way? So for M0? M0 is daily, bro. So you can't do shit then. Well, I guess you have to do like every dungeon every day, right? Yeah, so you have to do daily M0 dungeon tour. Yeah, do all the dungeons. Bat chest. Is it even worth doing Heroic? I like Heroic dungeons? I assume no. And you, wait, what you have to do, wait, how do delves work? Can you farm delves every day? Or how does it work? Can you do them infinitely? Can you go infinite delves? Delves capped at 3. So you can only do 3 per day? 3 per week? What? Bro. That's cursed. It's over. It's actually over. Guys, it's over. WoW is over. WoW is dead. World of Warcraft is dead. Yes. Weekly lockouts in any game, good or bad? I think that having like a weekly first completion bonus is actually good. Yeah, I think that's a good thing that you can have. But I actually think that all content should essentially be... I think that it probably shouldn't be optimal to do the same thing 24 hours a day. But I think making it so that you can do that is a good thing. Right? So in other words, if you want to raid all day, all night in Guild Wars 2, I think the game should let you do that and let you progress your account by doing that. I definitely think that that should be possible. But should it be optimal to do that? Probably not. I do like the idea of games encouraging you to do different things. Really, and kind of giving you a good incentive to go and try some other stuff so that people don't end up like locked in the same game mode all the time. That would be the that would be like the what I would say. Normal and heroic, not having a lockout. I could see them. I think doing that with normal would be interesting, actually. Because that's champion, right? Well, actually, wouldn't that be kind of OP, though? You'd just be... Everyone would have, like, full champion gear. Diminishing returns? I wouldn't say diminishing returns. I would just say, like, have, like, a weekly completion bonus that you only get once a week. And then, like, baseline rewards that you can farm. I mean, heroic no lockout will be fucking busted. Like, you could just get full hero gear week 1. I'm not sure if that really would really work in the context of the game. And I would want that. Normal heroic might as well not have a lockout. Blizzard are okay with you bypassing the lockout. Just delete it then. Well, the thing is, though, realistically, no, the amount of people who actually bypass the lockout's incredibly small. I don't think it's actually relevant. Like, I don't think they're going to design the game around basically people who are kind of abusing the system. You can already get full hero gear week 1 with M+. I guess that's true. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could try that or experiment with it. It still would take a while to. It still would take you a while to get full hero gear, right? Wouldn't be instant. Have to do a lot of raiding. I think the issue with that though is that. Okay, hang on. Here's an interesting thing. What if they made it so... What if they made it so all trinkets and cantrip items were on a lockout? And I know that sounds like cancer, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want... I feel like one of the things that really keeps people going back to raids is like the special items, either the cantrip items and the trinkets. They probably wouldn't want to give those away for free. Games companies trying to protect players from themselves are the dumbest things since MMOs removed open world PvP. Ooh, that's an interesting statement. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that. I think if progression is too fast in a vertical prog game, I think people will actually complain about it. But maybe you just kind of bite the bullet and say, you know what? We're making it so that you can basically grind it as fast as you like. If you're done with the game, then fair enough. Come back when there's something new. Yes. I really don't. I really hate this idea actually of the fact that people only play games for rewards. Like, I can say with absolute certainty that I would still play WoW without vertical progression, and I would, if they removed all rewards from the game, I would still play. And that's 100% the same with Guild Wars 2 as well. Like, if ArenaNet removed literally every single reward from the game, like, you literally get nothing. Like, you get 0 gold. Like, gold doesn't even exist, right? They just remove it. I would still play. It's not good for the submodel. It's actually more than that, though. It's not good for the submodel, but it's not good for players' enjoyment either. People like it when it's like a long-term project as well. That's the weird thing. There's this kind of like weird symbiosis, to be honest. I was quit WoW for not getting the Sark trinket until the last week and not getting Furlath until the season was over. Most fun I've had in WoW because of bullions. Yeah, I mean, dude, like they need to fix the legendary acquisition is the most fucking troll shit I've ever seen. Oh my god, holy shit. Yeah, it's also not that black and white. It's not that black and white, but for me, it kind of is. Like, if I could just play on the test server in WoW, I would 100% take that. Like, absolutely. Like, that would be a way better experience, to be honest. And I would, you know, it's weird. Like, if I made an MMO, it probably, I don't even know. Like, I don't know how I would do it, because it's fun to go on like little quests and stuff like that. I think it would probably work a little bit like relics. So if you know, I think the way I would do it is that you start out with like full legendary armor, but you only have a couple of stat prefixes available. Like the way I would do it is like if you want to unlock celestial gear, you've got to go on like an epic quest, you know, and you've got to like infuse your equipment with like this magic that you find on this like epic quest chain to get celestial gear, basically. Stuff like that. You imply the people who love only playing the game for the rewards. Well, it's very far from the truth. I really wrestle with this one, because if someone says to me, I wouldn't play this game if not for the, you know, the number going up, that to me is a really weird thing to say. I'm not entirely sure if I even believe people when they say that, actually. I don't know, maybe. But when people say that to me, I'm like, really? Like, really? Isn't your M+ rating, Hall of Fame, and other leader stuff also number going up? Well, I mean, it's a number going up. It's a very different number, though. It's a competitive, right? It's competitive. It's because you're playing against other people, basically. And it's like your activity in the game. It's like the actual gameplay. I think it's totally different. Like, if you remove all of those numbers, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, the only thing that I care about is, my performance relative to other players, right? Like that's the thing. It doesn't matter what the number is. It's like the relative comparison of the two things. It's not about the number going up. It's about the interaction, the competition between the two groups. Do you believe me when I'm saying it? I am not sure if I do, Angels. I find it really hard to believe that you would quit progression raiding if there was no vertical progression. I do really struggle to believe that, to be honest. I think you'd play less, but I kind of view that as like a good thing almost, right? Like the way I see it, you should play a video game while it's fun, and then the moment it isn't fun, you should stop, right? And if the game is prolonging that artificially, I don't view that as a good thing. I think anything that tries to like lock you in, whether that's like daily stuff in Guild Wars 2, like weekly lockouts or whatever, I don't think that's good. Yeah, I think that's bad, actually. I don't think any game should try to do that. I think all of them do. I think basically every single MMO does this, obviously, to drive player attention. But I don't think it's good. I think you should play the game while it's fun. And then if you're not enjoying yourself, you're not enjoying playing the game, then yeah, you should stop. And the game shouldn't try to prevent that. I think the game should not prevent you from doing that in any way. Like, I didn't know. It's not. You know. Can't the rewards be part of the fun, though? I don't know. I'm not... I'm not sure if they can, to be honest. I'm not sure if they can. I think that the game should be fun because of the process, the actual button pressing. Like, the button pressing should be the reward. That should be the reward of the game, the button pressing. Loot and WoW is the most boring garbage shit. I don't hate it, honestly. I like all the little weird trinkets you can get, all the little crazy cantrip items, like the on-use items and stuff like that. They're kind of fun. Enjoyed grinding Master Rack when HT and Path of Fire came out. And I don't mind stuff like that. I guess my issue with stuff like Masteries and similar things like that is actually... Yeah, the issue I have with that, I think, is more that there wasn't, like, a direct quest. Like, for me, a cool version of the mastery system is, like, you go on a quest and you figure out how to bounce on a mushroom, right? Like, that is like, okay, this is cool, right? Like, you know, so for the HOT masteries, it should be like, you've got to go build your glider, right? You've got to go on a quest to build it. And then you've got to, like, learn how to use it on an updraft. And there's, like, a little quest, right? To go and do that. And the same thing with lean techniques. And then with, you know, with the stealth gunning, you've got to go and, I don't know, like, get this, like, Itzel juice or something and, like, put it on your glider, and that allows you to go into stealth with it, right? Like, I think that's really cool. Like, for example, I think RuneScape quests are some of the most rewarding experiences ever, right? Because they're so meaningful, right? They're so unbelievably meaningful when you go through them. And it's awesome. Like, I'll never forget, like, doing old school RuneScape quests, like doing Dragon Slayer and stuff like that for the first time. It's absolutely iconic experience. Absolutely is. And it's the same thing in Guild Wars 2. Aurora, I can honestly say, guys, without a shred of irony, do Aurora. It is so good. And yeah, that, to me, makes Aurora a cool item, right? Like, having Aurora is cool because of the journey, right? That you can go on, right? To do this. Vision, it was all right. It's not as good as Aurora. Aurora is much better than Vision, right? Same with Coalesce. Coalesce is all right. You know, it's whatever. It's okay. But, you know, at the end of the day, Aurora is really cool. Did Chuki? I did, yeah. And that was also a great experience. Yeah. That's good. Like, that's like a really cool reward experience, I think. Yeah. Have you seen Redbrox's video? I have. I actually have, yeah. Man, dude. Oh. Guild Wars 2. The Guild Wars 2 community is so boring. I wish people like Revurox would actually speak to me. Like, no joke. Because everyone, there's two categories, guys, of people who disagree with me. People who are just complete lunatics and aren't worth talking to, and people who won't talk to me because they think I'm like an evil shill or an evil toxic lunatic, right? Like, and there's no middle ground, dude. There's absolutely no middle ground in between. It's so depressing. Oh man, I'm literally trapped, guys. I'm trapped in a Guild Wars 2 circle jerk, and nobody wants to help me break it, right? Like, it's impossible to break it. It's why we need the snake, man. We need Bix the Snake, dude. We need to bring the snake back. More Gen 2 quest. Yeah, the quest for the Gen 2 is really good. Hope was pretty cool too, actually. I've done Hope, Astralaria, and Chuka. I haven't done Nevermore, actually. Maybe I should at some point, but yeah, I've done all of those. Couldn't you use the same mark for most rewards on MMOs, the achievement of getting it? You could, yeah, but the issue is that a lot of the time the rewards aren't very meaningful, in my opinion. Behind them, really. Like, even in WoW, rewards are a little bit, I guess, kind of, like with Mythic. You gotta do Mythic to get, like, the best gear, but, I don't know. I know, it's kind of weird. Need more big name streamers to pull, more players. Ah, wait, you know... We need people who care about the game more. This is the thing. We need people who care about the game more. I think that there's just a lot of people who don't, I don't know, who don't care about the game enough. That's the reality. It's actually a good video, though. You know, like, I actually really understand where he's coming from. I definitely don't agree with everything he said in the video. He's basically talking about how meta events should be easy. And I think okay. I would really want to get into what he means by easy. And this is why I really want to talk to Revurox, actually, because like I want to actually really understand what he means. Like, when I listened to that video today, because he uploaded today, got posted in my Discord, like, I really want to ask him what he means by some of the things that he says, because, like, he's actually, the way he communicates is actually very intelligent, in my opinion, and he is expressing his ideas in a cohesive and salient way, right? But I want to know what he means by some of the terms. And like, I think that's where there's some, like, really good discussion, I think. Yeah. But I don't know. I think that's fairly subjective, though. I mean, it is subjective, but I typically like things to be a challenge. Like, if I get a reward and it's not really a challenge, it just doesn't feel good to me. And if it's like disconnected from the game, it's also not particularly good. I think like unlocking stuff is really good, but I like rewards to be very impactful and like to actually change something, right? Like when you get something, it's like, oh yeah, this is like a big deal, right? Like this is gonna actually like change it. It's gonna have some kind of function, right? Some kind of function to it. I think is really good. One of those anti-ghost videos I've ever seen. I don't think I actually agree with that, Jeremy B. I think it was a well put together video. I mean, I also don't agree with some of the things he said, and I definitely challenge some of the factual statements being made in those videos. But I think it was well put together, right? Like, you know, all of the ideas were connected, right? Like he had a clear point, you know? Ah. Season was well. I actually haven't seen that one. I need to watch it. Can I try an interview? I've tried to reach out, but I don't think he likes me very much, unfortunately. Which is fair. And honestly, you guys fucked up, okay? I explicitly said that you guys should not dislike the video. Because I actually thought it was a really good video. But yeah, he got 90 dislikes on the video we watched on stream. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm a little disappointed. That is a very bad faith engagement, in my opinion, from you guys. And I'm not happy about that whatsoever. I think it's actually a very poor showing. If you did that, kind of shame on you a little bit, I think. I think it was an interesting video. And even disagreeing with a video is not a good reason to dislike it. You should dislike a video if the video is actually bad in some way, not because you disagree with it. And I don't think it was a bad video. I think it was a very highly interesting video. Yes. Meta events that fail are bad for the game. It depends what we mean by it. It really depends what we mean by that. Like, and that's why I want to have a conversation about this, because what do we mean by that? Like, okay, because here's the thing, right? Do I think that Dragon's End failing 90% of the time was bad for the game? Absolutely, yes. Do I think that Dragon's End failing 33% of the time is bad for the game? I don't think so. I don't think I do, actually. But do you see what I mean? Right, do you see what I mean here, guys? Like, why I want to talk to people and go, like, what do you mean by this? Like, can we, like, let's actually quantify this a bit more. You know what I mean? Because there's a very big difference between failing 90% of the time and, let's say, 15%. Let's say 20% of the time, right? You guys know what I'm saying, right? That's why I want to get into it, right? Like, what's really good question? That will be an interesting conversation, right, Mike? Right? Wouldn't that be an interesting conversation? I think it would be. I think that would be a super interesting conversation to have. Like, what's the threshold? What do we think is a acceptable fail rate for you know, an event that's supposed to be a little bit more challenging? Good question. Dragon's End in open world shouldn't fail ever if there's a whole map. I mean, I agree. It shouldn't, but it obviously does, right? I don't think I've ever engaged with the trading post whatsoever, and I probably never will in WoW. Why is one map being difficult when the game is like 24 bad by now? I think actually it's harder to make a more challenging map in the new model. Like, if it was a situation where it was like, one map out of 4 is a bit more challenging, I think that's really not a big deal. But if it's one map out of 2, then you know what? Yeah, that's difficult to justify, I think. Or a little bit harder. Come from the length of the meta. That didn't help as well, yeah, for sure. It's like, you know, potentially a 2-hour commitment and you just get farmed. And you get nothing. And it had the turtle. I think that looking at making rewards more granular would definitely be better for events like that, for sure. It makes you not want to do the content because it wastes your time. If you yell too little, it becomes disengaging. Exactly, yeah. I think stuff like that, you know, when there's like a little bit of a risk, right, of some failure, right, I think can make it exciting. Hero swipe for gold? Hell yeah. Like, it's weird because you really don't have to. Like, earning gold in that game is kind of easy. And I think we probably have some plans to do, like, a boosting operation in WoW as well, and then you never have to pay for your sub ever again, pretty much, if you do that. But, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't play games to farm gold. I'm not, I don't do that. I'm not playing. Yeah. Yes. No, I agree with you, Zlin. I think that, you know, there should be, like, some risk of failure, but making it high doesn't make any sense. Like, saying, oh, yeah, you're going to have, like, a 90% fail rate is a bit silly, let's be honest. Little bit silly. In general, the game really helped. Had nothing to do with the rest, and there was also no real topic throughout the entire video. We have to rewatch because I'm somewhat influenced by his factually wrong statements. Well, the reason why he brought up the story with the gamer, it is actually a really good point, in my opinion, Jeremy B. Where he went with that was the following. Guild Wars 2 has the systems for hardcore players. This is a very hardcore combat system, and everything about the game is very hardcore. But they target the audience they target is mega casual players. So what he's getting at is that mega casual players really struggle with the game's mechanics, which is absolutely true. And it's one of the really big friction points that ArenaNet have had to wrestle with. He's correct about this. He's completely correct. Guild Wars 2 is a weird game. Everything about it is unbelievably designed for hardcore play, for high-level play. And I'm surprised he didn't bring this up, but Guild Wars 2 was originally supposed to be a hardcore esports PvP game. Make no mistake about it. That was the original intent of the game, and it shows. The design shows that it was supposed to be that way. Now, obviously, they don't market the game towards those types of players, but that's how the design of the game was. And to an extent still is. Less now than it used to be, obviously, but that's how it used to be. Certainly in core and in HOT as well, a little bit, I think. And that's when, you know, Path of Fire is where we really shifted and moved in a different direction, but it was starting in HOT as well, of course. Yo, Navissals Prime there. Yo. Yeah. Feels it shouldn't be hardcore, doesn't, it should be hardcore, doesn't play hardcore. Exactly, yeah. Like, and that was actually, you know, look, I'm going to say it. That was one of the statements that Reburox made that actually really impressed me. Not a lot of people even recognize that, in my opinion. I don't think people get it, actually. That statement was really correct. It wasn't just like a little bit correct, it was very correct. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you think ArenaNet will make full animations to legendary land-based spears? Yes, they've actually already confirmed. Yes, they showed it on the beta stream, and you could also see it in the spear beta. Yes, there's a footfall for the shark. It's pretty cool. Like little shark fins follow you around. Actual fail rate? Oh, it's not that high. Dragon's Den is very easy now. I mean, it probably still fails more than other things, but it's not hard. How is the reserve at 1:06 p.m.? Well, I mean, it's 6 p.m. It's you know, what do you mean? What are you expecting? Boom. So I think that was actually kind of a good example. in that regard. And the real... Okay, and what was his point in that video? Okay, so Reburox's point in that video was basically that the systems and the target demographic of Guild Wars 2 are in some sense fundamentally opposed. And he is correct. That is not just true. I think that is inarguably true. I don't think that is even up for debate. Yes. Guild Wars 2 has a lot of design baked into it that was completely aimed at very hardcore players. Like, a lot of the systems within the game are hardcore systems. But the demographic and the marketing is towards anti-hardcore players, the exact opposite. And his point throughout the video was the contradiction and some of the issues that this has actually created within the game over time, which again I think is accurate. It's an accurate criticism of, or maybe not criticism actually, I'd say analysis. It's an accurate analysis of the history of Guild Wars 2. Yeah. I do some React content. No, we're not doing React content. Today is probably a nothing stream, but this is a doing nothing stream. I'll do Zero to Hero tomorrow. Oh yeah, I have to see if my UI works. Oh wow, guys, I forgot to check if my UI works on pre-patch. Oh no. Oh my god. Well, no, I already checked. It's fine, we're good. It's fine, we're good. Is that elite specs are a bad choice? It's only made the game worse in the long run? Interesting take. It's caused issues. Yeah. I don't know. I think the question is, like, could you have done the same thing in a better way, essentially? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's certainly a system that is not, you know, doing it infinitely is maybe an issue. Keep adding more things like that is... It is problematic. It makes the game very hard for new players, I think. It's very hard for new players, I think, to, like, learn how all the specs work now. And obviously, if you keep adding more, then it gets worse over time. And that's... I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how I would... Oh, I don't know how you do it differently, though. Also, Dark Matter, thanks for the Prime, by the way. Nearly had a hype train going. Nearly had a scam train going, guys. We were on that shit. Love to see it. Elite specs ruin PvP. I mean... I really and ah about this. I really do. It makes the game more complex, but I don't think that's an issue as long as you have enough players. Like, as long as you have enough players to make the matchmaking work okay, and everyone can have, like, a fun experience, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's the execution, right? Like, if abilities weren't as bloated... I mean, if you look at Path of Fire... Guys, if you want, like, a defining moment when, like, PvP and World versus World got completely screwed, and to an extent PvE as well, actually, it's Path of Fire. Path of Fire is when the devs dialed it up to 11 and just, like, power crept the game to the most insane degree possible. That was the beginning of the Mega Boon era, was Path of Fire, really. You had a little bit of it in HOT, but then it went all the way up to insanity in Path of Fire. You don't like Path of Fire? Path of Fire, if I'm being truly honest, was kind of the... In a lot of ways, it was the end for me with Guild Wars 2. Like, that was when... It was kind of the end. Like, the game... Path of Fire made the game worse for me in every possible way. Which, I mean, you know, you hate to see that, I guess. But, yeah. Yeah, like, those elite specs absolutely ruined World versus World. They ruined PvP. And, not gonna lie, they also kind of made PvE worse as well, like, if we're being honest. Like, adding Scourge, like, bro. That, yeah, okay. That's, you know... I'm sure Scourge hasn't caused balance problems in Guild Wars 2 ever since it was added to the game. There's no way that would happen. Like, there's just no way. Yeah. I mean, mounts are pretty cool. Mounts are cool. But, you know, the elite specs, maybe a little bit less so. Yeah. The end for me was the tunnel. Well, I mean, like, I guess that's something. The cleansing nuke. I didn't get those points when I watched the video. I guess it's too distracted while watching the watching and victim of the classic primacy effect. I mean, look, I think what's a really good exercise here is whenever I'm watching someone's video or talking to someone, I always try to have like the best faith interpretation of what they're saying. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, if you're not going to engage with someone and steelman their position, basically, and, like, engage with it in good faith, don't interact. Like, what's the point? Like, there's literally 0 point in interacting if you aren't going to interact in good faith. So I really try to make an effort to really try to understand, actually, like, what people are trying to get at here. And sometimes I'm maybe a little bit too charitable because, of course, you know, if you're going to engage in good faith with someone, you have to first assume they're acting in good faith as well. Like, there's no point in interacting with a bad faith actor. If you think someone's in bad faith, why are you talking to them? There's no reason to do that. So you do have to make that assumption first, which is actually sometimes a bad assumption. You can get burned by that, like, for sure. I've definitely been burned by that as well, historically. But I don't know, like, if you're not going to, like, there's no point. The squad's leader is left. They're out. Strikes. Wait, what are we talking about? Bridge content. You're gonna buy them tickets for a Trump rally and you win. Jesus. Yeah, it's a Twitter moment, that's for sure. What are you getting, a simp face tattoo? Jester, look, if anyone would have to get a punishment tattoo, that would, it's gonna be you. Nice. There are enough people that you cannot get into discussion with. I guess I entered that kind of defense mode too early. Well, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I think you just got to recognize when that happens and try to see if there's anything actually interesting there. And I don't know, I'm also a little bit biased, right? I'm a little bit biased in this regard. I just like arguing with people, if that makes sense. So I get really excited when I see someone who has an opposing view that I find interesting. That I would want to unpack more and understand. So that's kind of my bias there. Were a lack and quick better in open world events when it was only Crow providing them? Definitely not. That was a fiesta. Question about WoW. I know nothing about the game. I'm looking into trying tips for a new player. Honestly, just get in there and play the game. I think people really overdo how complex, like, playing a new MMO is and, like, how, you know, how crazy difficult it is. It's like, leap in and have some fun. That's what I'd say. Just leap in there, mess around, see what you like. See what you don't. See what you don't like. Get on the next C10 will be good faith, I promise. I mean, what do we even disagree about, though, Mogains? That's the thing. I feel like we don't disagree on anything. Or I don't think so, anyway. I doubt it. Yeah, well, I guess we can... Yeah, maybe you don't agree with Arc Divider, right? Like only having one attack instead of 3. Peepo Epoch on your map? Okay, add me. I'm coming. Yeah. Let's talk vertical progression, Zaza. Well, you know, the thing is, though, is that when we actually talk, we would actually agree on almost everything. I would say that it is a fundamentally bad system that limits games from being as good as they can possibly be. And then you would say, yeah, but people like it. And I'd say, you know what? You're right. And therefore, I'm not going to advocate for removing it. Like, that's basically how the conversation would go. That's basically it. Like, I don't think we'd really actually disagree on a lot. Oh, I got a Mystic Clover. Let's go. Boom. Huge. Yeah. Photogrammetry makes games better. Ah, you know, yeah, I think this is just because of the way I engage with rewards, to be honest. Like, to me, when I think of a rewarding gameplay experience, I think about... People always gaslight me on intrinsic versus extrinsic, so I'm not even going to use that language. But when I think about rewards, I think about defeating a boss with my friends, or winning a PvP match, or, you know, doing a challenge, right, within the game, or completing a quest, right? Like, going on a journey, going on an adventure, and completing a quest. That is what I consider to be good. Number go up is just... It's very, like, whatever. I don't really care, to be honest. About number going up. Like, it's stuff that's actually in the game, or stuff that the game tells me has value, I don't find very interesting. I find value in things that I consider valuable, right? Like, because of what it means within the greater context of, like, the actual game itself. Having a really cool rule like the Farak mount really adds to that experience. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can take it or leave it. I mean, I got it twice and I gave it away both times. Yeah. Won the roll twice. Fed it to the boys. Gave it to Rated and to Jester. Love to see it. Yeah, and I definitely like a trophy. I think a trophy's cool, for sure. I think something like the Farak mount is pretty neat. I'll give you that, that's for sure. But yeah, if I'm being real, like, the real stuff, like, Hall of Fame is a million times more meaningful and interesting to me than any in-game reward. Right? Like, it's not even close. They're not in the same universe. And even if there wasn't a title for it, just doing it, like, knowing that that happened, that was like, we competed and that's how well we did, is the thing. Having a trophy for that is nice. I think it's really cool that there's a title you get for it and stuff like that, like Famed Slayer of, etc. That's really cool. But it means nothing compared to the actual thing itself. Yeah. I guess, I suppose the way I would say it is that I care a lot more about the action rather than the trophy. Like, the memory and the experience of doing the thing is what I value, as opposed to the trophy for that thing. But I don't begrudge trophies. I mean, I think it's a cool idea, to be honest. I don't hate it whatsoever. I don't hate it. I think it's cool. I think, you know, adding, like, the purple title for Ceres, I think that was a really sweet thing. ArenaNet didn't have to do that, and they did. I think that was a really sweet thing that they did.
Wayfinder. Oh, thank goodness.
Can't flex memories. You know, I think this actually is a little bit of a part of it. I actually don't care about flexing on people, like, at all. Like, the only metric I use for self-worth, I guess, if we're going to get into this, is me. I do not care. If it's good enough for me, then it's good enough for me. And if it isn't good enough for me, then it isn't good enough for me. Like, if people tell me that something's good, that doesn't really mean that much to me. It only counts if I think it's okay. Like, It doesn't matter if you tell me that you liked the Soto review or if you liked my tournaments. It's only going to be good enough if I thought it was good enough. Yeah! More, kills the chance of getting more diverse in mechanics and games in the games. The more you tune the numbers, the less you can ask from mechanics. Ooh, that is definitely not true, actually. The WoW encounter design is incredibly diverse and definitely incredibly creative. I don't think that's accurate at all, actually. I know that. In fact, that's just not accurate. Do you think most people would agree? Most people simply don't commit. Wait, what am I being asked about here? I actually don't know. If the next review is a segment where you listen to music and turning it off, honestly, you'll probably turn it off then. Okay, guys, you know what, Trig? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you this. In the original cut of the Soto review, Jerna wanted to keep that segment a little bit shorter, and I said, no, we're actually going to triple the length of that segment. There you go. Enjoy. Yeah. And just so everyone is aware, that segment will be in the Janthea Wilds reviews as well. And no, you can't change my mind. I really like that segment, actually. It's one of my favorite ones in the entire video. I think that appreciating the music is important. Yeah. There you go. They like to steal a lot of ideas. This is like saying, well, you know, seeing as Final Fantasy is just like a rip-off of WoW, it doesn't count. Like, bro. And also, hang on a minute. You guys know that Sabatha is literally a ripoff from a Warlords of Draenor boss, right? And Demos is literally the Lich King. Are we trolling here? Are we... What are we doing here? Yeah. The segment was cringe. I had to alt over the game to skip it. Fine. Good. But it's very important for me. If you want to say that, that's very important. But here's one thing. I do not care about your opinion. Yeah, the thing is, I completely agree with that. And so what? Like, creators and game devs and artists taking ideas and being influenced by things. Yes, that's how you get good art. Yes. Yeah. It was like 50 hours during Race World's first. The music was definitely a part of it. Yes, very good. Yeah. Yes. It should be an outro segment at best. I actually completely disagree, to be honest. I mega disagree with that. I think that when I make a video like that, I want to immerse you in the expansion. I think the music is so important. Yeah, it has to be played, right? Like, it has to be played on stream. You have to listen to it. I have to take you. I have to transport you into the world of Secrets of the Obscure, and I think you have to listen to the music. You must listen to the music in order to make that happen. If you want to skip the segment, that's absolutely fine. But it's staying, and honestly, maybe I'll make it longer next time. Maybe I'll make it longer. Like I said, I specifically extended that segment. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I will just fully re-upload the soundtrack. I mean, that's probably a bit fucked up to do that, but, you know, maybe we will. Yeah, I'm going to go through a full review of each individual track. That's definitely the way to go, yeah.
Get to the fountains and clean that off. Quickly!
Yes. And to be honest, guys, I admit it. I kind of wanted to go even longer on the music segment, actually. I did kind of want to go further. I'm not joking, by the way. Like, there are some really good parts of the Bloodied Lord that kind of didn't make it in. And that does make me a little bit sad. Oh man, dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I am gonna sound like such a simp when I talk about the WoW soundtrack, dude. Oh my god, the music in WoW is so good. Oh my god, it is so strong. Like, this track is so good, actually. Like, the Dawn of the Infinites music, it is unbelievably good, actually. I love the clock samples in this track as well. Oh man, it's so good. I am one of the next like very long videos I'm doing is going to be basically a review of WoW and Dragonflight, actually. Oh man, it's so strong. Like, the ending to this track is incredibly good, actually. The council music? Yeah. The Emergency Nature theme is insanely good. Howling Fjords is my favorite. The other one is also really good too, actually, from this one. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Iridicron theme is also really good. Man, the music from that mini dungeon is so good. Ah, this one is so good. This is the music that plays on Rise, right? Murazon's Rise. Dude, when you're doing the first trash pull and this is cranking, oh man, it's so good. Ah. Where's like the... Yeah, it's like this part when you're doing like the really big trash pulls. Oh yeah, I have to log in actually. But no. Look, guys. What's the Warlords music? Let's see what... wait, is this the Everbloom track? The Everbloom track is incredible. Wait, Jailbreak. Let's go. Yeah, the Warlords music is pretty good, actually. The Everbloom music is really good. Also, guys, look at this. You guys see this? Jester's Queen. Look. It's very elf-themed. Look, Blizzard know they'll love this stuff, okay? Kumas. Yeah, the immersion in WoW goes really hard. The thing is with WoW, they just make it, like, insanely epic. That's what they always go for. Right? They go, like, mega hard on just making the music as incredibly epic as possible. Have we got the new login screen yet, by the way? Instead of this scuffed-ass one they added for The War Within. Oh, yo, let's go. Wait, let me in. Let me in! Okay. Huh. What the hell is that sound? This is what I'm talking about, guys. You guys hear that? Like, these crypts going like, eee! What the fuck is this? This is cringe. It's actually so cringe.
I did not expect he would be oppressing his own people.
This is the... It's not even the real login screen. Where's the real login screen? I'm logging in. Epoch the Breaker. Magrist is here, by the way, guys. Reaper main, by the way. He mains Reaper, guys. He mains Reaper. Full Reaper main. He actually mains Dragon Hunter. Wait, WoW opened twice. Yes. Daily reminder, guys, that Magrist is completely insane. Just remember that, guys. Remember that. He is completely insane. He can't be trusted in any way. Right, we're in. Dude, all these people with the Farak mount. I guess it's kind of easy to get now. Inv. Look, guys, my game still works. You know what sucks, though? My fucking talent thing doesn't work anymore. What the fuck? That's crazy. Yeah, the Cryptus should have stayed evil. That is true. Yeah, I don't like that. I do not like that they made the Cryptus good. I don't know why they couldn't just had some proper old villains, you know? ArenaNet always do this, though. Like, when they have, like, villains, they always go, ooh, but then they were redeemed, you know? Like, Kralkatorek kind of got redemption as well. Like, they even tried to... Oh, man. I think the Icebridge Saga was good, actually. Like, Icebridge Saga was pretty good. But they even... I mean, they did that well, though. Like, they made Jormag a bit ambiguous. That was actually really exciting. That was, like, the good form of, like, what they did with the Cryptus, right? Because they made Jormag... Jormag's a very ambiguous, morally grey entity, right? And obviously, in the end, right, like, you know, you'd end up fighting the dragon, right? Like, no shit. But they definitely made it pretty interesting, like, along the way. But, like, doing that with the Cryptus, oh, man, that was really not the way to go, was it? That was really not, that was not the way. Right, are we in or are we out? Okay. I think we're going to be doing, like, 1 billion DPS, right? Because, like, everyone's really overpowered right now. Alright, then, guys. I am actually done with the stream, though. I will probably be streaming early tomorrow, in fact. It's going to be early stream tomorrow, gamers. Very exciting. Very exciting stuff. Oh, do we have to full clear? I guess we have to skip, don't we? I think we only care about Farak, right? But anyway, I'm not going to stream the WoW item tied, actually. I wanted to just turn on the stream a little bit. Just a little bit of streaming today. But I will be back tomorrow. That's it. Go watch the Soto review. Enjoy it. Or don't. It's up to you, I guess. That's it. I'm out of here. Boom. Follow, subscribe, hand over your money. Oh, man. Look, this is also a very good track, though. Listen to this, guys. Listen to the Emir Drasil theme. Enjoy the Emir Drasil theme. Lovely. Very good.
It's not ready.
Wait, we're actually ready to go. Wait, guys. I'm out of here. Take it easy.